Oh, there we go. I just had a whole entire explanation and you guys couldn't even hear me. All right, let me do that again. That's the problem with having mute on mic. All right. Well, first of all, let me say hi to you guys. Buggy Man, what's going on, Buggy Man? I'm doing good. How about you? Thanks for asking. Sahud SSA, hello. Ayush, Ayush, yeah. All right, yeah. No sound. Can't hear what you're saying. No sound. Ali, Galex says hey. No sound. Yeah, cool. There we go. You guys can hear me now, right? Cool. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So let me just reiterate what I just said. So for anybody that's been following me on this 100 Days of Hustle, you know that the channel is currently in a large state of flux. I'm doing a lot of different things. The content has been changing, and I'm experimenting with a lot of stuff. I appreciate all of you guys that are hanging in there and kind of seeing where this is going. But overall, I guarantee you that this is the best path for everybody. It's the best path for me. It's the best path for you, because you guys are going to actually be benefiting quite a bit from it. A lot of the content's changing on YouTube, but where I'm planning on going with my own stuff in regards to courses and things like that, free courses, there's going to be a lot of free courses coming out. If not all of them are going to be free. But we're moving in the right direction, and I think everybody's going to benefit from it. Now, another thing that I was saying is that if you actually looked at this title of the live stream today, it's called "Learning WebSockets with Vapor and Swift." I don't know how to do this. Whenever you see a live stream that's prefixed with "learning," that means that I'm learning it. So we're gonna go through this learning process together. A lot of people have said that they find it actually very helpful to see my learning process. Um, so this is pretty cool. I think it provides you guys with good content, and then maybe we all learn something together that day. But yeah, we're gonna be doing WebSockets with Vapor and Swift, and then you'll actually see that there's a pipe, and then it says Web Wednesdays. So what I wanted to say about this is, for anybody that's kind of been following along on this weird flux that I'm going through, this weird change that I'm going through, I'm trying to put together a schedule for the content that I'm going to be releasing. And I'm thinking that Wednesdays should be dedicated to web Wednesday. It should be Web Wednesdays, right? And it's going to be like a live stream where we do web development type stuff. And web development can mean a lot of different things, but I'm kind of thinking of it as mainly server stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't be making websites. So maybe next week we would do something like Vapor with Leaf to create a website. Or maybe it's not even in Swift. Maybe it's in Dart or Flutter or React or something like that. I'm going to use these live streams as ways to kind of branch out and learn different technologies, because I've always been really curious in different technologies. And now that I'm very proficient in Swift and I understand a lot of coding concepts through Swift, all I have to do is just convert that knowledge into a different language, and I can learn something new pretty quickly. I'm coming up to speed really quickly on Flutter and Dart because I already know this first programming language. And even though I even created a video where it says just you really need to only know one programming language. This is something that I want to do as like a hobby, and then maybe it benefits you guys too. But yeah, uh, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at Vapor WebSockets because I want to work with. I haven't really done a real WebSocket in real life outside of Firebase. So when you do something on Firebase, as soon as you do an update, it's like there immediately, which is like incredibly fast. But I want to see how to take this technology outside of Firebase in case I wanted to have my own server doing something that was similar to Firebase. If I wanted to create a chat app, I shouldn't have to rely on Firebase. Relying on somebody else's technology, it can be a bad thing, even though we're relying on Vapor. But I mean, it is what it is. You have to rely on something to get things done. But yeah. All right. So Insik Polison says, "Hi, nice to see you again." It's funny though, you were explaining and we were here like, yeah, yeah, he will notice it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I eventually got around to fixing the volume, right? Um Shailesh says hi. What's going on, Shailesh? And he says create one login API demo in MVVM using React Swift. Yeah, maybe I'll hit on that a little bit later. Um, Definitely not in this one. I personally don't really care for reactive programming quite yet. I don't see the problem that it solves when you're writing Swift code, but yeah, I'll eventually do that. Why Vapor instead of Node.js and Socket IO? So let's talk about this really quickly. Um, so I'm using Vapor because okay, so let me just go out. Let me talk to you about how learning using what you know to learn something new can make you learn that new thing faster. So essentially, I know Swift very well, right? I'm not an expert, but I know it very well. I can get most of the stuff that I want to do done in Swift pretty easily. Um, so when I work with a language that I know very well, the language no longer becomes a barrier for me, right? So then I just have to focus on learning the concept. So I'm very new to, well, I'm not new, but like I don't have much knowledge on web development, best practices, and all these other things. So it makes sense for me to use Swift to learn web development concepts because I don't have to worry about learning the language, and it's not going to be hard for me to establish where these differences are in a framework and like and the web development principles in general. So being able to have these two things be completely separated makes it easier for me to focus my knowledge or focus learning this new concept and everything that it entails. This way, when I learn something new, when I learn something new by using Swift to learn it in web development, I can be like, okay, this is what I would do when I would do it in Swift, right? So if I wanted to learn something like React, then what I can do is I can be like, okay, how do I apply this concept in React? I know which questions to ask. I know what to Google, and it makes it a lot easier. So Swift is really the only language that I actually know well. Everything else is just like I've touched it, um, or I'm currently in the process of learning it. Like I'm learning Dart. I'm getting pretty good at it. Um, I actually know it. I feel like I'm getting to a good spot with Dart, but I wouldn't say that I actually know Dart. Like I might put it on my resume just because I'm learning it. But if somebody were to really ask me, "Are you a Dart programmer?" I would say no. I'm technically only a Swift programmer because that's the only language that I know that I really feel comfortable. Like I wouldn't have to look anywhere online to really like get something up and running. So yeah, that's why I'm doing Vapor. But I think I mentioned this, or I don't know if I was muted when I mentioned this. I may go into doing things with React. I may go into doing things with Dart. I'm talking about web development, right? Dart development, React web development, whatever else web development, right? Because I'm not super proficient in JavaScript, but Dart has definitely helped with that. Um, Also explain Viper architecture. I don't know um I don't know what there would be to explain. I'll explain everything that I'm going through, but yeah. I'm tuning in while coding my app in Xcode. Nice. I like that. Same. Well, I have an error. Galex says that he has an error. Or they Galex says that they have an error. I'm sorry. Um Hope you find the solution to your error. You in USA. So in USA, developers use Storyboard and develop UI using code. So the whole entire storyboards versus code is all up to you. It doesn't really matter. They're both good. When you do storyboards, you do actually have to write code. It's not like you can do everything in storyboards, but Storyboards are a very powerful tool. I highly recommend that everybody knows how to do storyboards, but I also highly recommend that everybody knows how to do programmatically. Personally, I enjoy doing stuff in programmatically, but I always recommend that people use storyboards to get stuff up and running much quicker. Logic not click in my mind, so what should I do? Click in my mind, so what should I do? Try to get unstuck. Watch my video and get unstuck. That might help. Shriyaz says hi, so hello. All right, let's get into the coding because I've been talking too long. Let's get into the coding. There we go. So, and then if you guys have more questions, feel free to ask them, because when I create this Vapor project, it usually takes a while to get up and running. But yeah, so we're gonna just put this in. Do I want to put it in code research? We'll put in code research because I'm not learning. Yeah, I'm researching. Yeah, so that makes sense. All right, code research, and then we'll just put it right there, and we'll do Vapor new, and then we'll say socket to me. Socket to me. Oh man, template equals API. All right, that should be pretty quick. Socket. I'll make myself laugh. That is important. Vapor. What is it? Vapor update. Vapor update -y. I think that's what it was. I don't know. I'm having like this mind fart. All right. Bye bye Kilo. In India it's night, 11 p.m. So good night. All right. Later. Yeah. Usually I do this at night, but since today's my Wednesday, I don't have work today. I get to work on my own stuff, so night. Galix says good night. Good night, Galix. All right. Hi, I'm getting problem getting notification in iOS app using Firebase. What should I do? Find out why you're getting a problem. What does the error say? What does the error say? That would probably be the best thing to do. Figure out what the error says. So N6 says if you have many view, you can refactor to another storyboard easier that way. Yeah, so this is a great point. Thank you, N6. If you're working with storyboards, you almost should always have more than one storyboard in your project. Almost always, unless you have like a very simple application where it's like just like 2 to 3 screens or something like that. But if you're making like a real app, like I don't know if you guys saw this, but I live streamed the entire creation of an app and put it up on the app, or submitted it for review to the App Store all in one sitting. If you saw that app, I wouldn't even consider that a real app. That was just like a throwaway app. But it's technically an app, but that only needed like one storyboard. Like if you're gonna do something super simple, or actually we did that in code. But if you're gonna do something super simple, then yeah, you got like maybe like 4 or 5 screens, then you know what, you can just put it all on one storyboard. It's not a big deal. But if you're going to create like a real app where it has like actually like some pretty good size features, like it has like multiple features in it, then I would definitely recommend that you have multiple storyboards. And there's this thing inside the storyboard where if you go to the object library, like where you pull out the UI view or pull out like a UI button or whatever. If you go there and you search for storyboard reference, you can drag and drop that onto your storyboard, and then you can change the name or the class or whatever to a different storyboard, and that's how you connect separate storyboards to each other. So maybe I'll do a video on that. But yeah, it's pretty good. Socket to me. That one says it's done. All right, cool. So, what we're gonna do? What is this? It's for work. Okay, so here's my code, and I'll put my screen, my Safari screen, so that you guys could actually see what I'm looking at too, and I'll just move it whenever we're copying code. So I already kind of did a little bit of research. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. I did a okay. Stop it. Getting ridiculous right now. All right, so I did a little bit of research, and I saw that it appears as if WebSockets are kind of easy to do in Vapor, supposedly, right? I'm actually going to download this. Yeah, I think this is a program. A CLI development tool. So yeah. Let me see. Cool things you can do. Configure installation. Currently, the only requirement to run WSTA is Rust Open SSL. If you get an error or similar, have a look at this link. Mac OS. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna get this tool real quick because I just want this to be kind of easy to test first, and then I want to be able to test it, right? And then after that, we're gonna try to make an iOS app that can make it work. Not sure how viable that will be because I don't know if the simulator can see what's going on localhost. So that's going to be something new. So let's go ahead and get this running, and let's go to a spot in the app that actually looks familiar, like the routes, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's get this running, and what I want to do is I also want to create a new project, and this is going to just be a single view app. And what we'll do, if you're going to let me tap on it. Oh, there it goes. I don't know where the cursor is. All right, so what do we need to do? We'll call it WebSocket client. Code research. We'll put it up here. There we go. So let's see how everything else is doing. That looks like it's good. So now we could do the install. Let's see. Okay, there are a few tutorials on the internet. Look it up. Really convenient. Storyboard get merge in a team of 3 is equal to a nightmare. You have several. You must have several storyboards. Yeah. So for the most part, I don't know why so many people are working on. I have no idea why you have so many people working on the UI, and then when you sit when you're on a large team, it's like, okay, I just skipped it. Whatever. Yeah, so if you're going to be working with storyboards on a team, you definitely need to be having good communication. But also at the same time, it's like, why do you have so many people touching the storyboards in the first place? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. It's like if you're working with storyboards, that's the UI. Multiple people should be working on the logic, getting all the logic put together, and then you just designate one person to implement it, or you guys take turns implementing that specific feature set. But yeah, definitely want to have multiple storyboards. It helps reduce that. And if your code is too laggy when you were using the storyboard, disable automatic refresh views in editor menu top. That's also a good tip. Nice. I didn't even know about that one. Thanks for the tips, Ensic. Uh, Rui says, "Sup, primo." I guess. I guess we primos now, huh? Sha. Yeah. What's going on, man? I actually don't get a lot of Spanish speakers in this community. It's kind of weird now that I think about it. So it's always a nice refresher when somebody speaks Spanish. I don't really speak Spanish, but it's just like, you know, I know a little bit of Spanglish and that's about it. I should be teaching, I should be doing my tutorials in Spanglish. That'd be hilarious. All right, so we got this up and running. Let's go ahead and make sure that it's going to be on here. And the only thing that I want to do is I need to go here and we need to make sure that we allow arbitrary loads. Let's do that. Allows arbitrary loads like that, because we're gonna try to hit localhost and I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. So let's go ahead and create a networking service. Hey, so what you doing? I'm about to learn Bash. Simon, I'm learning Vapor WebSockets, hopefully. We'll see if that's going to be a successful learning session or not. Networking service. I live in a Spanish speaking country, but I only talk at school. Where do you live, Calix, if you don't mind me asking? Let's make that a little bit bigger for you guys. Are any of you guys using my theme? I'm just curious. I'm just curious if anybody's using my theme. It's not really a big deal, but I was just curious to see if anybody is. So I have this Kilo Loco theme. If you go to kiloloco/store, it directs you to this page, and then you get an easy link right here, and it just takes you to the GitHub page. But yeah, I was just wondering if anybody's using it or not, because a lot of people were asking me for it, and then got to the point to where I just needed to put it up on a website somewhere, so I did that. Alrighty, so then we do a networking service of our No. Func request. I just want to make sure that I can. I need to see if I could get onto localhost or not. So let URL equals URL string. And if I'm not mistaken, let's find out. Let's actually find out. Is it HTTP ://0 dot? Like, I need to find out what the actual address is. 8080. Well, it can't be that. That's super slow, right? Let's see. Yeah, should work. I don't know what the heck this lag is. Let's see. So localhost, that works, but what happens if we do this? It doesn't like that. Not sure that localhost will be. We can try it. Not sure if this is gonna work or not. Let networking. What am I doing? Let session URL session dot shared task equals session dot task data task URL, and then we're gonna just see if data comes back. Guardlet data is equal to data else return, right? And then let's just print out the data, I guess. Print data, because I'm not really sure if it's going to work or not, and how I would decode a string and things like that. So task dot resume, and then yeah, so let's do that. So let networking equals networking service dot shared, and what we'll do is we'll say networking dot request. All right, let's see if that works. Live in Paraguay. Oh, it did come back 9 bits, huh? Cool. What's going on? Clutch the dev? What is going on? Let str equals string. Let's see, from data, right? Data. I'm going to guess that it's going to be .utf8. And str. Nope. It is optional, right? Yeah, optional string. Cool. But that's pretty cool. It's coming back already. That's a good sign. It works. Bam. That's looking good. All right, cool. So we know that this can work on localhost. I wasn't 100% sure, but now I know. Okay, so what we'll do is let's just go ahead and I think we're gonna delete this. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete this. This mouse, dude, I gotta get a better mouse. Anybody have a recommendation on mice, like a nice mouse? This is what I'm using right now. This is what I'm using. So it has a little ball. I like this, but lately it's just not. I don't know. I don't know if it's too far from the Bluetooth or what, but it's been kind of sucky. All right. Let's see. All right. So what we want to do is, where's our browser? This isn't what I want. Oh, let's make sure that this is installed. WSTA. Is it Dashman? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's installed. Okay. All right, so that's in there. So what we want to do is create a Neo socket server. So to create a WebSocket server, all you need to do is register one in the config.swift file. So where's that file? The config.swift file. No, one way to find it. Config.swift. Ooh, that's not going to be fun. What? File contains a function that receives the config environment. Okay. I know what you're referring to, but I don't see it. I wonder if I have to make this file. So it's not going to be in controllers. I know that. It's not going to be models. It might be here. Maybe you're talking about configure. Is that what you're referring to, little one? All right. I'm going to take a guess that this is what they're referring to, the configure file. Oh, what? Why did I think that it said config? That's kind of weird. I don't know how to read anymore. So what we need to do is we need to create the socket. So create a socket. We would have to do all of our code right here? That feels wrong. Right? That feels wrong, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and put this down all the way over here so we have it all separated. We register. Let me take a look at some of these other things and try to find out how this stuff is being transferred. Because I feel like this shouldn't be here. Add WebSocket upgrade support to get echo. That's super crazy. So let's do that. Oh, it's connected. Hi there. Oh, it's already working. Well, that was easy. Okay. Parameters. Like Vapor's HTTP router, you can also use routing parameters with your WebSocket server. Okay. Okay, I think this is what I want to do. I think this is what I want to do no. Huh. Yes. WebSocket dot flatmap. Yeah, that's not what I want to do. So I want to get my. I feel like if anybody knows, then let me know. But I feel like this code right here. I feel like this code should be in routes. I feel like it definitely shouldn't be in the configure file. Like if you wanted to do all kinds of stuff, like let's say we wanted to do chat, right? That doesn't feel right. Like having all your chat code in the configure file. So my question is, let's see, how would we get this to the routes screen? And let me see what the route is doing. Okay, so it's calling routes. Okay, so something's calling routes. Let's see what's calling routes. Okay, the router's calling routes. Makes sense. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that this is a function. I've never really looked. Okay, so in that case, what we can do is we can copy this convention of just creating a global function, because that's all this really is. This is just a global function. Yeah, this is just a global function. I feel like that's also not best practice, but I don't know web development, so screw me, right? And yeah. So this one throws. I wonder if this one would need a throw. But let's go ahead and try that. So what we're gonna do, we're passing in the router, so we'll pass in the socket, and we'll call it sockets. So this one's routes, and this is router. We have a WebSocket when we have the sockets, socket streams, or socket streams. Olive, you would have saved me some time if I would have just read configure. You said that it says, I think it's configure. Voice is too low. I wasn't really saying anything. That's why I was so low. I was kind of just like thinking out loud, and when I think out loud, it's usually under my breath, because when you talk like this and you're speaking to yourself and you're thinking to yourself out loud at work, it's kind of weird. People start looking at you. So, sorry about that. Are you using sockets with your own API? Yeah, so that's the plan, is to use sockets using my own stuff, so that I don't have to rely on, you know, I don't have to rely on Firebase or something like that. Okay. So let me see what this is doing. So add a new callback, WS on text. What is this on text? So adds a callback to WebSocket to receive text formatted message. Okay. Where am I sending that message? I wonder what format it's being sent in. Let's take a look at the WSTA docs. Yeah, let's take a look at these docs to find out if it's going to let me know how it's sending this okay. Cool things that you can do. So how are you sending this? In what format? I wonder if it's like, do I just send a JSON format or what? This one is in that format. It should be in JSON format, right? Because it's not, you're not gonna, yeah, you're not going to want to send it in a query string. So let's go ahead and create a request in our iOS code. So let request is equal to, oh, this won't work because it's not, well, let's see what happens. URL request, and we're going to pass in our URL. And this actually needs to be a variable. And we're going to say request dot body is going to be equal to, let's see, how do we create data from a string? I always forget how to create data from a string. I think it might be string. Oh, it's gonna be did this work and dot data dot UTF-8 like that. So, and then this also needs to be echo. Let's see what happens if we try to run this. I'm kind of curious. I don't think it would work, but who knows? Yeah, not found. What happens if I go there in general? Okay. Reason it's not found. So sockets definitely don't work the same way as APIs. So that's good to know. I may be wrong, but I think that everything must throw in routes. Every route. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But that's we're gonna get to that, but we're not gonna be in routes. We're gonna be doing our own function. Which language with which language are you developing your API? This is with Swift. We're using Vapor. Yep. All right. So this won't work. So that's fine. I didn't think it would. Well, I was curious to see what would happen. It was worth trying. So that's for sure. Let's see. What we want to do is we want to get support to get echo. We'll do a socket routes. Or actually, we can put it in here. Let's just do it in here. Why not? Don't need to make a whole new file. Socket routes with a WebSocket. And this is going to be a type. All right, so then what we could do is we should be able to do this instead, where we grab this echo, take that out, and we just drop that in here, and we'll say WebSocket.get. Unless that wasn't actually a WebSocket, in which case that won't work. So what is this? This is a Neo WebSocket server. Ooh, so we'll call this socket server. We'll make sure we say Neo WebSocket server. And then we'll say socket server dot get. And that should work because all we're doing is just refactoring, right? So then we just say, what did we call it? Socket routes. We'll do try socket routes. And then we'll pass in our socket server. And then let's go ahead and stop that. We're going to run it. What? Is it really possible to develop an API with Swift? Did knew that. I think you're saying you didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah, server side Swift. I'm surprised that you haven't heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, it's because you, my friend, are not following the Swift community on Twitter. And I always recommend to be on Twitter because Swift has an awesome community. Awesome Swift community. That's pretty quick. So that's working. I like that. Now what we can do is we could just try to change it up. Reverse. Let's see. Text reverse. Just because I don't really trust this tool unless I'm doing it. So we're gonna do this WSTA and then backwards. Oh, but if we do a palindrome, we get that. I like that. Straw cab. All right, but I know that you are against third-party libs. I'm curious to know if you can do it with native APIs. Do what with native APIs? So yeah, I'm against throwing third-party things into your project just to be doing like it's a really fine line, right? Like this is being recommended directly from a third part, like the third party that we have to use. Like obviously, can you build something like Vapor yourself and then create Swift on the web and do all this stuff yourself? Yeah, obviously, because somebody else did it. It's just somebody that was smarter than you. You know, they are better developers than I am. That I am a worse developer than they are, right? Um, but does it make sense to go back and really rebuild the whole entire thing? Like I mean, when I said that you're not supposed to be using um third party stuff, like when I said that libraries make you a worse developer, it's because it kind of does. Like if you just like there's so much that's going on underneath all of this that I don't know and it's making me a worse developer for it. But since I'm just doing it, you know, it at least I'm learning. Like I can still learn. I don't understand everything that's going on under the hood with all of this, and you don't have to, but I am a worse developer for it because the person that implemented this type of thing is a better developer than me. They understand things that I just don't. If I took my time to really understand all of this stuff, yeah, sure, I would be a much better developer. But you also have to take into account like what's reasonable. You know, it's like you can make your own bread, but does that always make sense? Like, does it always make sense to make your own bread? No. Like, sometimes it makes sense to just go to the store and buy it. But it's when things get excessive, like when you're using all these different things to do the code for you, when there is an easier solution out there, or you're just like you're not even going to take advantage of all the features that of the library that you're going to be bringing in. That's when it just gets out of hand. Like your one screen app has like 15 dependencies. That's just ridiculous. I don't know who to follow, by the way. I'm developing with Node.js, which is built on JavaScript, which is very easy. Yeah, I don't really know JavaScript that well, and I really have a bad taste in my mouth from past experience. That's why I don't do JavaScript right now. WebSockets on the client side. Oh, that I'm doing by myself. So I'm doing by myself in to the extent of what Apple's providing me, right? Like, so once again, I could probably write all the C code and figure it out myself, but that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm going to try to figure it out. Like, there's something called Starscream where it makes all this very easy, but that doesn't help me at all. Like, I don't want to use some random thing that's just gonna make it 1 or 2 lines of code. Like, it's making it 1 or 2 lines of code over here, okay, but that's because there's no way I would be able to figure this out. Whereas Starscream is going to essentially just write out a few lines of code for you using URL session and do all that work for you, but you don't get to learn any of it. So that's why I'm learning it. If I really can't figure it out, then I'll use Starscream and I'll feel like crap for using it. Like just this past week at work, I had to use a dependency. It was the first dependency that I had to put in my project. And the project's almost done. First dependency I had to put in my project, felt like crap for it because I couldn't figure out what I was trying to do. And I shouldn't feel like crap. I mean, like, it's just because I have a deadline. Like, I have a deadline. I can't spend too much time on something. So I got the dependency, and it is what it is. But I don't like doing that. All right, so let's go on. Let's see. So we need to have and I'm going to be using this right here. So if you guys wanted to follow along for whatever reason, there's this question: how to use URL session stream task with URL session for chunked encoding transfer. I think that this is the this answer is what I'm looking for. I might be wrong, but I believe this is in regards to using sockets, because streaming, I believe streaming is the same thing as socket data, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a new concept for me too, or this is a new concept for me, so I'm learning. So don't be mad at me if I say something that's incorrect. Which database are you using? Right now, I'm not going to use a database. It doesn't make sense to convolute all this stuff with a database. I just need it to send stuff up and then get it back immediately, because that's the premise behind sockets, is just sending it up and then and observing the stream, right? Let me see. So we're gonna close this. Did that actually disconnect it though? Wonder what happens. How do you disconnect? I don't want to just leave it open, right? Did I close it? Let's check the manual. Usage options, message. Yeah, I don't know. Now that we got this socket working, I want to implement that on iOS. So first things first, this needs to be a subclass of NSObject, because we're going to be observing some stuff. That also means that we need to fix this initializer. And is that it? I think I don't have to say self. I guess not. Or super or whatever. That's cool. All right. Let me think. Okay, so URL session data delegate. So we want it to conform to the URL session data delegate, and in order to conform to that, you're going to definitely need to be an NSObject, which is why we made it a subclass of NSObject. All right, so we're gonna say extension on the networking service and NS or URL session data delegate, this one, Let's see if there's anything that's required to be put in here or if we're fine with conforming. Looks like we're fine with conforming for right now. Going to comment this out. I'm going to get an error on the other screen, but that's okay. And let's see what they're doing. So it looks like they are setting up a URL session on a init. So let's go ahead and do that. Don't know if this is all required, but whatever. So we'll say super.init like that. And then it says that we should have a URL session. So we're no longer going to be using our default URL session. We're going to be creating our own. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be creating our own. So let's go ahead and say let session. They have their session as a variable, but there's also a lot of stuff in there that I don't think is normal practices for Swift. So let me see when this was actually written. They might not be. So this was written back in 2017. Maybe they were still like figuring out the language. Maybe they don't know all the things, but it's fine. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? Let config is equal to the URL session configuration default. URL session configuration dot default. So you're grabbing the default configuration. Fig, and we're going to be changing the request cache policy is equal to dot reload ignoring local cache data. Cache data. So I'm assuming that they're doing this. Hold on, what is this? I think that's because this has to go down here probably. We'll figure it out. Hold on. Anyway. And then our session is going to be equal to a new session. So we'll say self.session is equal to a new URL session that we're going to create ourselves. And the reason why we got to do this is because this is the only way that we can add the delegate. And that, well, we also want this reload, but I think we could change that somewhere else, but that's fine. So we pass in our config. We want to pass in the delegate as self because we're going to be observing it down here. Operation queue should be just .main, I believe. I believe that's what we want. Okay, so it looks like that is giving us an error, and it's because we're not conforming to something. It might be because we're in an initializer. Self is used before that. Yeah, that's not good. All right. Well, then in that case, what I'll do is I'll say private. Yeah. Well, first of all, this should have been private anyways. This could be a var, lazy var, and then the session. No. Well, yeah. Should be fine, and we'll just create it in the initializer, so that'll be fine. All right, so then what we can do is we can say all of this, we'll grab this, we'll do this, we'll return this. Let me see, what is that? All right, there we go. And let's think about this. Is this what we want? Lazy var, yes. All right, so this is going to create our session, and then what we'll do is we'll just create our session, or, well, no, I think we could wait until right before we're about to use it. There's no real setup that we're really doing, so that'll be fine. Okay, so then the next thing that we need is there's something called a streaming task. And there's also, yeah, so we need a streaming task. So we'll say private var streaming task. And this is going to be of type URL session data task, URL session data task, like that. And they have it optional. Yeah, I see he's setting it to nil. I don't think that's all necessary. He has a computed variable called private var is, oh, you know what? This one actually isn't. He wanted to have it be able to check. So this one is intentionally left to internal. So we'll say is streaming is going to be a bool. And we're just going to return streaming task dot is streaming, or is streaming is not equal to nil. All right, and then to start streaming, what is this precondition? He is I've never seen that before. Is that a thing? Precondition? Checks a necessary condition for making forward progress. I've never seen this before. What the hell happens? Okay, checks a necessary condition for making forward progress. Use this function to detect conditions that must prevent the program from proceeding, even in shipping code. That's weird. That is weird. That is super weird. Why wouldn't you just do... Wait, so does it wait? Checks the necessary moving forward. Use this function to detect conditions that must prevent the program from proceeding, even in shipping code. Builds if condition to false, stop program. In -0 builds the default for Xcode's release configuration. If condition evaluates to false, stop program execution. That doesn't sound good. Condition is evaluated, but the optimizer may assume it always evaluates the true. Failure to satisfy the assumption is a serious programming error. And we'll have a function called start streaming. And I think I'm actually going to call this, yeah, we'll just call it start streaming. Don't want to get anything confused just yet. And then we're going to say guard. Whoa, why is the, ew, oh my God. Ew, did you see where the curly braces went? That was disgusting. Guard is streaming equal to false. Else return. Don't know why I did the equal to false. It's not optional, so we could just, you know, prefix it like that. So it can't be streaming. And then what we want to do, so there's a URL that we want to open. So let's go ahead and make this dynamic. So start streaming. Endpoint or URL. URL path, right? And then what we'll do is we'll say this is of type string. We'll also make sure that we can create a URL. Let URL is equal to URL string URL path, right? And then what it wants us to do is create a request. So we'll say let request is equal to URL request. We're going to pass in that URL like so. We need to do an upload task. So let task equals our session that we have up top. Create an upload task with a streamed request, and that's going to be our request right there. And then this is actually going to be our streaming task. We don't need to create this. That's unnecessary. So we can say streaming task is equal to that, and then we can say streaming task dot resume. Right? Right. Cool. So there's also a function for stop streaming. So we're just going to go ahead and create that too, since he has it in there as part of it. So what we'll do is we'll say stop streaming. And we're going to check guardlet task. Okay, so what it's doing, guardlet task. Yeah, I don't, man. Okay, so streaming task is equal to nil. Wait, hold on. No, streaming task dot cancel, streaming task dot close. Wait, streaming task dot. Oh, okay. So, and then we're gonna just say equal, or yes, streaming task is equal to nil. So we cancel it and then we set it equal to nil. We also have something called an output stream. Is there an input stream? The output stream. So we'll put this up here with everything else. Private var output stream. And that's going to be an optional output stream. Okay, so there's a function called close stream that he has in here. So we're going to create that, and I'm going to put it up here just above it. This one should be a private function. All right, and then we'll say output stream dot close. Output stream is equal to nil, and then this is also going to be part of the stop streaming. So close stream like that. All right, nothing too crazy so far. All right, let's see what else. All right, so this is the part where we actually start creating the input, or handling the input and output streams. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but we'll see what happens. So need new body stream. So I believe this is in here. Need new body stream. I'm going to guess it's this one. So in this function, what's going to happen is this is where we're going to actually set up our input and output streams, I believe. So first, he's saying he wants to close the stream if there's already a stream created. Now what we want to do is we want to have an in stream, an input stream, an in stream, and what out stream. An in stream, which is a type input stream. Oh, well, then I'm going to call it input. I don't like that. Input stream. That's optional. Var output stream. And this is of type output stream, and this is also optional. So now it seems to be some type of static function. Let me see. What's the problem here? Oh, I hate this error. This is like a nothingness error. All right, so then what we're gonna do is there's a stream object that has a static function on it that is going to be get bound streams. So this says creates and returns by reference a bound pair of input and output streams. Okay. So with buffer size, I'm not really sure what a buffer size is, but they put 4096. So if anybody knows what the buffer size is referring to, and you could let me know, that would be awesome. And then this is going to be a pointer. So input stream and output stream, like so. And we're going to set the output stream self.output stream is equal to our local output stream. And the completion is going to be the input stream. Completion input stream, like so. So I don't fully understand what's going on here, but I will come back to it and then break it down later if it does work. But nothing too crazy. We're creating two streams. Well, first we're closing any existing streams. Then we're creating two stream pointers, or like whatever these are, and then we're going to essentially we're going to bind them together. And then the last things that we have in here are just the did receive data. So that's going to let us know what came back from the server. So did receive data, right? And this is going to pass, I believe this is going to pass our response. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out the data. I just want to make sure that we're getting data back. And then what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to say let string is equal to a new string from data. And we're going to pass in that data, and then we're going to pass in the .utf8, because that's how it should be coming down. And we're going to say we're going to print out str, or we're going to say bad stream data. Right? So that's what happens if we get it back. So that means this is essentially the completion handler for a socket. Let's see, and then did complete with error. So in case we get an error, did complete with error, all we're going to do is just print out this error. Or there's no error. No error to be had. Like that. All right, so if this is a socket layer, that would be really nice. If this just works, that would be amazing because everything has been actually extremely easy up to this point. This no longer works. What we want to do is we want to start streaming, and what we want to stream is our local host dot echo. Only problem is that I don't know how to update data. So how do we put stuff into the stream? That's the only thing that I'm kind of yeah, that's the thing that I'm kind of wondering. So this is going to be echo. I wonder if it'll at least say connected. So let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens if we even get this far. Oh, this actually might not work. Yeah, we got an error. Hold on. I don't think my Vapor server is actually running. So let's try that. And what we can do is we could just send back some stuff. All right. Yeah. Okay, so we're still getting an error. And it says that we could not connect. So let's get this like that. All right, load failed. Could not connect to server. Dang it. Why not? Let's see if there's anything over here. I wonder if we just were to do this. And we were to just say connected. All right, so then let's go ahead and stop this. Let's run this, try it out on the terminal. All right, and it says connected. Right, so that is working. Let's try this out over here and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're still getting back an error. So this wasn't exactly what we needed to do. Not connected to server. Let's see, could not connect to the server. So that's all right. We tried something and it failed, and that happens sometimes. So when I look under the hood of this, yeah. You know, I'm thinking now, did we try to connect? Start streaming? Yeah. No, I think I'm right here. Okay. So, let's see. I wonder if it has to be prefixed by WS. That would be interesting. I wonder. Let's go ahead and try that real quick. I don't think that's going to be the problem, but it could be. You never know that you're just using the wrong endpoint. So let's go back over to our view controller and let's see what happens if we were to change this to WS. Maybe it's a different, maybe it's like a different protocol or whatever, and I'm just using the wrong protocol. Yeah, that's not working either. Okay. Okay, so let's see. On text, on data. All right. Delegate method. And then we can write. Okay, so then let's go ahead and take a look in here. Oh, and it's written in Swift too. That's good. So that's going to be for that. Let's see. Oh yeah, actually it would be in sources because that's what's going to be the important part. WebSocket. Okay, let's see. Wow, there's a lot in here, huh? Look at all the stuff that it's pulling in. WebSocket client, SSL settings. Wow, there's a lot that goes into this, huh? Oh, okay. So this is basically what we want. And yeah, they're doing all kinds of stuff in here. Wow. I don't want to go through all this code just yet. It's a lot of code to go through. Yeah, look at how long this file is. Thousands of lines of code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if there's another source online. Swift URL session WebSocket. Fast WebSockets in Swift. Let's see. This one's a little bit less popular. Let's see how complex their code is. Swift WebSockets.h, not the header. WebSocket. Okay, so let's see. Ugh. Look at all this. Look at how big these files are. It's like refactor much? No thanks. Let's see. Apple has to have something on it. This is how people are doing it. I just want to know how they do it. Because I know it can't be that hard. They usually make some of this stuff pretty easy to do. Scheduling socket communication for Swift. Let's see. Oh, thanks. Thanks for doing it in Swift. Let's see. Connect with URL, read stream, write stream. Create pair with socket to host. Okay. I Okay, we have a delegate there. Okay, a stream handle event. This might work, but I don't really like trusting anything that's in Objective-C because it might just be outdated. Real-time communication with streams tutorial. Let's see. But are you going to do it by yourself? All right, so we already got our stream. Create. Well, first, let me see this. What I want to do is first I'm going to I want to make sure that the stream is going to work for iOS in general. So what I'll actually do is I'll import no, don't want to, I'll import it just to check it. Just to check it. So let's go ahead and check it out. Back off. And what we'll do is we'll say change directory, and then we're gonna do let's see, what is it called? Oh, WebSocket client, and then we're gonna do pod init open, or we'll do code pod file. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add Starscream in here. Pod Starscream. Let me just make sure yeah, see, I didn't even spell it right. Let me just go back to Starscream and grab that real quick. Where is the pod stuff? Okay, whatever, we'll use this one. So let's use this real quick. What we'll do is we'll grab it. Let's grab it and put it into our project and make sure that this works in general. Come on, dude. From here we can close this. What we want to do is we'll open WebSocket client XC workspace. And let's see if we could even connect. I don't even know if that's the right way to spell it. Starscream. My dad's watching me right now. That's funny. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. Actually, I don't even know what the syntax is. Let's see. Example, socket is equal to that. Let's go ahead and drop that socket there. Yeah, see how it has 8080. I'm gonna do this HTTP. Do echo, because that's where ours is. Extension. We're also going to need to do this extension because it says that the delegate is equal to self. So I don't know what we're going to need, but we're going to need something. Let's comment this out, see what type of, oh, is it going to give it to us? WebSocket delegate. WebSocket delegate. There we go. Let's see if there's anything that needs to be implemented in here. Have it fix it for us. Did connect all of these. Let's see, print connected. Did disconnect. Print disconnected, and then print message print, and I'm just going to print out the data if there is data. All right, so, and we want to prefix that with the word data. Alrighty, so let's see. So what I'm going to do is I just want to make sure that this works in general. Okay, so this shows me that our socket is live. It is working. Our server has a legit socket. So that's pretty cool. The problem is that I want to figure out how to do this by myself. I don't want to have to import Starscream. I mean, like, how big is this thing? I don't know. I don't really even know how to check how big something is like that. Let's see, Starscream. Frameworks. Open in Finder. Let's see. Oh, it's actually kind of small. It's pretty good. That's pretty good, but still, I would feel better if I knew how to do it. I want to do it myself. So let's go ahead and keep searching. I'm going to keep searching. Let's remove Starscream. We'll say Swift WebSockets minus Starscream. Right? Maybe it needs to be 1. iOS. Okay. I don't want Katura. I don't want perfect. Let's see what else we got. HTTP Swift. Tiny HTTP server engine written in Swift. WebSockets on iOS. That's exactly what I'm looking for. What you got? Okay. iOS 4.2. I'm going to kill myself. What? WebSocket client. This is garbage. Let's make sure that we're only getting relevant stuff. So anytime custom range, like from, I don't know, a couple of years ago, shouldn't be any older than that to today, right? Can't able to make WebSocket connection. What? Oh God. In iOS, let's see, stomp client. Yeah, see, I don't like that already because you're using something else. But whatever you're using, I might be able to reverse engineer if it's not overly complex. This one's pretty small. I might be able to do this one. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, all right. All right. Hold on. Okay, hold on. This might be it. hold on. One problem is that problem with doing this is that he said that it wasn't working, but that is all I need. All right. This project is simple stomp client in Swift, and we use Starscream as a WebSocket dependent. You're killing me with that, boo. Can't even believe that. You're using Starscream. Like, why? That's when it starts getting ridiculous, is when people start wrapping dependencies. Like, you're wrapping another dependency, and then you're probably going to wrap it in your own code too. It's like, Jesus. Check your URL. The URL's good. URL's good. Because look at, I have the URL right here, right? HTTP localhost. It's nothing fancy. When I go over here, it's HTTP echo, same as right over here. I'll even copy it, and I'll check my code again. I'm pretty sure my code doesn't work, which is, the copied code. Should have known, but what can you do? All right, so if we do that, when I run it, I'm only going to get an error. Problem is that I don't know enough to really get in there and figure it out. See, I'm getting back data. So it's hitting the server, I'm pretty sure. But it's not right. Or actually, hold on. Abort application responder. Interesting. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna swap this out because need to make sure that it's still working. If it's still working with Starscream, then yeah, okay. So it works with Starscream, which means that it's a problem on the client side, right? So that means that my code is incorrect. But why is it incorrect? What am I not doing that it needs to do? And this looks like a response from Vapor. Application Swift 50. It's kind of weird. I'm wondering, do I need to have a header? All right, let's check out the Ray Wenderlich tutorial real quick. We got these, don't we? Okay, the chat room is going to hold a reference to the stream. Simple network communication, CF stream create pair socket to host. Okay. What is this? This timed out. What is this? Because this is kind of like what I have in the networking service. Look at this. We have something similar. See, it's doing this. And I wonder if that's what the problem is. Pair socket to host. Well, hold on. Let's just kind of go through this. First of all, I need to find out what the hell this even is. So let's drop that into Google and find out what this is. Socket communication and a stream event error occurred. This is garbage. It shouldn't even be coming up. Is there not Apple Docs on this? Oh God, ARKit. That's so far from the truth. Hello, please tell us name of your terminal theme. Um, no, that's not oh my Zosh or whatever it is. This is regular terminal. This is regular terminal. Look at that. Terminal. I don't play that. um let's see. Okay, so this is not even coming back. That's a problem. Opening a connection. Head back over to the chat room and below the property definition, add the following method. Man, this is not ideal. Yeah, this is not ideal. But I think I did see something like this inside of. Okay. What we can do is we can get the project, take all the code out, and figure out what's really going on. WebSockets on iOS with Starscream. Yeah, I don't want Starscream. I told you already. UDP. This streams tutorial. An example TCP, which opens a connection. UDP. Where to go from here? Okay, that's what we want. Take out all the poop, and then we'll look at the real code and then reverse engineer from there. Yes, please open up. Who cares? Get out of here. All right. Man, all of this right here. Get out. Can't even see the code. That's bad. All right. Yeah. Common modes, schedule. Okay, so look at this. And I want to see what is being used where. Okay, so this is the chat room. Set up network communication. Okay, so everything that we need is inside of here. All right, cool. So now let's start looking at stuff that we don't need. Chat room delegate, don't need that. Yeah, don't need you. Okay, so we're just gonna start stripping this down to the bare bones and see what we do and don't need. Username, we don't need that. Max read length, we do need that, I'm pretty sure. Username, don't need that. Let's see. Okay. And chat room stream delegate. Yeah, we're gonna probably need a lot of this. This is the message. All right. Process message string. Hold on. What is this? Process message string. Yeah, we don't need this. And we don't need a message object. Is the message object in here too? Oh my God. What is this? Where is this at? Message.swift, other stuff. Oh, okay, cool. So as long as they did that, that's fine. Okay. And what we're doing is going to be, we're going to return a string. And we'll return the message. All right, so now we're looking at about less than 100 lines of code in order to get this working. So let's go back. Let's go back up to the top and let's make sure that we have these things. So since this didn't work, I'm going to just destroy it all. I'm going to kill it all. It's all dead to me. You're dead to me now. Let's open this up a little bit so I can see. And oddly enough, there is no URL session in here. That's super weird. Yeah, in my head, that's super weird. But that's okay. You know? That's okay. Yeah. So actually, I'm going to create a whole entirely different class because it apparently is not networking. Let's do a socket service. So what we'll do, we're going to do class. No, this is going to be socket service like that. And just so these are events, stream.event. Okay, it's handling the different events. All right, let's go ahead and grab all of this. I'm going to just grab it all. And what we'll do is we'll modify it as we go. So no longer a chat room, but a socket service. And maybe let's just call it socket service. And yeah, you would only really need one socket at a time, I think. Okay. Input stream dot delegate. We have to change all these to socket service. Socket service. All right. So let's start making our way through. So we have we have two streams, an input stream, output stream. That makes sense. Max read length, that, okay, got it. Let's see, what is this 80 on here? Port 80. I don't know if this needs to be port 80 or port 8080. I'm gonna put it on, no, I'm gonna leave it like that because that's probably gonna be port 8080. I would guess. No, I think they might be two separate things. We'll put it on port 8080. We'll see what happens, and then we'll change it to, no, let's do what they have. Keep changing it. All right. Let's just fix any of this, any of these errors. All right. For mode, run loop, common, and okay. Username. Don't want to join chat. Send message. Let's not do any of that. Stop chat session. Right now, all I want to do is connect. So let's not overly complicate anything. All right. So set up network communication. Yeah, see, I'm still kind of confused because it's like, where would I put the actual host name as CF string port 8080? Let's see. Read stream, write stream. See, because it needs to be, it would definitely need to be this, right? That's the way that I see it. It would have to be that echo, that slash echo. That's the way that I think of it in my head. Okay, we need to close this because that was the wrong spot. Where's my code? Here we go. All right, so in my head, you would have to know that it needs to go to the echo route, obviously. We're gonna try port 80 for right now. Probably switch it over to port 8080 if we get an error, and just see what happens. Set up network communication. And then let's see. When they open the input and output streams, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. That's what you got to do sometimes. You just got to see what happens. All right, so we're going to say socket service and setup communication. Let's see what happens. If anything at all. Looks like nothing happened. Well, it just crashed. Didn't like that. So, let s is equal to socket service. Sometimes if you don't have a reference to these things, they break because they fall out of memory so quickly. An error occurred. Okay, so let's try this on port 8080 real quick. Okay, let's try localhost 8080. And then we'll try localhost 80. Let's see what happens if we do 80. So we're making progress, which is pretty good. Okay, so I think it is supposed to be 8080. Let's try slash echo. If that works. I would doubt it, but who knows? Yeah, okay. So the closest we got to something is this. Some other has space available. Some other event. And let's see what the event code, print event code. NS stream event raw value 1. Okay, let's find out what that means. Open completed. That should be that should be a good thing. Has space available. What does that mean? Event. Why would they not? Oh my god. everything end encounter, error encounter. How could you not? I don't. Okay. Okay. It seems like this was a good thing. The stream was open. Event. Completed. Open completed. All right. Okay, and then has space available. Not sure what that means. All right, the stream can accept bytes for writing. Okay. Let me see. Print message. Let's see. So, read available bytes. Let's see if we're even coming in here. I think that we are making progress. Dead to me like Game of Thrones, yeah. Binary Mind is in the house. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Brand. What is this? Buffer length ASCII dot components. Let's not guard this. Print string array. String, we'll just turn this into a string too. Describing string array. Let's see if we get this far. I think we're right there. I think this code is kind of working. Just got to figure out how to trigger it. So let's see. Join chat would be probably when let's see. So you join it. Open output stream.write. See, my biggest thing is like, where do I say that it's echo? You know, create or CF stream create pair with socket to host. What? So we have creating a null unspecified CF stream reference, CF read reference, the port, the host. It would have to be, let me see. When they set up their thing, I want to see, is it just that? It would have to have a name. You wouldn't be able to just set it up like that, would you? So what I'm thinking is like, they would have to have an endpoint after they create it. But what's their endpoint? And that's what I'm struggling with right now, is like, what's your endpoint? because here you have to set up two uninitialized socket streams that won't be automatically memory managed for you. Okay. Then you bind your read and write socket streams together and connect them to the socket of the host. In this case, on port 8080, the function takes 4 arguments. The first is the type of allocator you want to use when initializing your streams. You should use this whenever possible, though there are other options if you run into a situation where you need something that acts a little differently. Next, specify a host name. In this case, you're just connecting to the local machine, but if you had a specific IP address for a remote server, you could also use that here. So that's probably what I want, because that should act like it's a remote location. In this case, it should be this entirely /echo. So let's go back over where we have it in our code, because we know that that's exactly spelled right. The Starscream one, right? We know that this works. So we should be able to pass it in right here. Let's try this one more time on 8080 for the port, and then if not, we'll change it back to 80, see if that has something different to do with it. So that failed. And then let's go over to the error occurred. So error occurred, and there should be a delegate for the stream error. So stream error. After delay time interview. No, that's not, doesn't look like that. Let's see. Stream delegate should have some type of error handling, right? Should. You would think it would. Not seeing anything. These are just objects. All right, so that's not good. So let's see, error occurred. Let's print out that event. No, that's just the code. Print a stream. Dot stream error. Here we go. That's in the wrong spot though. Error occurred, and then we get the stream error. Okay, so code CF1. Let's see. Let's see if this comes up with anything. Let's do this one. Let's see if this comes up with anything online to help it. Let me see. Services are failing for the following reasons. Meaning that something canceled your request. DNS lookup failed. All right. So, sad panda right now. Let's see. It sucks because there's not whole lot of information out there on this. SCF string. Should be able to just drop it in right there. Is there a specific port for this? Let's see. No, doesn't say. Application responder. Let's see if Vapor has any errors for this. Nope. Nope, I don't think so. I don't think so. Man. Man, oh man. Okay. Let's see. Joining the chat. Yeah. How can I use WebSocket on iOS without Starscream? How can we do that? Short tutorial, we're going over Swift WebSocket, which is available here. Probably demonstrate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna use something else. Okay. URL. Well, look at that. So you created a WS object, right? From a request. X another header. Let's see. All right, so this creates a WebSocket object. Okay, so how do you create a WebSocket object using this? So we're gonna go to sources and a WebSocket. And this is the payload. Don't want that. These are the events, binaries. Where are you? WebSocket. Space. No, WebSocket like that. And space ahead like that. All right. WebSocket. All right. Let's try to take a look and see if we can do something here. We have a couple of convenience initializers. Let's see. Open URL. So let's see, WebSocket service. Damn. I'm gonna need somebody to like help me here. So let me see, where are you? Okay, here we go. Request is not equal to nil. Open equals to has URL. All right, inner WebSocket request subprotocols and stub. All right, so then what we want is an inner WebSocket. So then we find inner WebSocket. WebSocket has all this garbage in here. Let's find the initializer. So this grabs a request, right? Well, that sucks. Damn it. So they're just gonna pass it somewhere in here. So look at, we have a request, right? So now what do we do with that request? Might have to just search for all of them. Request. WebSocket compression. Inner socket. Here we go. So URL. Copy open. That's not what we want. Let me see what's down here. This is the initializer. Open connection. All right, here we go. Okay. Set value for the user agent Swift WebSocket. Interesting. Look at, okay, so this is kind of what we need right here. Address. Look at that. Address and then the port. Okay, so it's doing the parse itself. If address is count is not equal to 2, or if address, the first is equal to nil, invalid address. Okay, here we go. This is what we need. This is what we need. So there's a bunch of garbage surrounding it, but this is what we need. Okay, let's see. This is freaking painful. I don't really trust any of this, so let's go ahead and see. We don't need this. All right, let's drop this function in here, and let's kind of go through it line by line. And what we're going to do is we're going to just create this. So we're going to say open connection with request, and that's going to be of type URL request, like that. All right, web's create an error. So enum socket error, type error, case some error, and we'll just throw that wherever we need to throw it, and we could go back and refactor. Okay, so let's go ahead and just say we're gonna throw this socket error dot some error, like that. Mouse is giving out on me. Some error, like that. Okay. Okay. If request URL dot port is equal to nil. Request URL dot port is equal to nil, or request is equal to 80, or this, then we're gonna do that. Okay, so if you're not specifying it, then we'll specify it for you. Okay. Okay, origin. Origin is equal to that. We're gonna set that. Sub protocols. Don't think we need sub protocols. Not doing anything crazy here. Let's just throw our socket error dot some error. If compression is on, then we're gonna do some craziness, but we're not compressing anything. TCP connect security. Not sure what that is. We're gonna skip it for right now. We're gonna throw another socket error. Some error. All right. What is this RDO? What is that supposed to stand for? RDO. Read data, maybe? Read data output? Write data output? All right. If service, okay, so we don't need this. Oh man. Can you guys hear that? Jesus Christ. Hold on, I gotta see. Oh crap, it's hailing. It's hailing. Ah. Caught one. Look at this. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see it. That's hail. Look at that. All right. Don't know what you do, but I don't think I need you. I don't know any of this, so I'm just gonna delete it. Dang, it's really coming down out there. Jesus. Jesus. Whew. It's kind of cold now. All right. Let's see. Now, where did it do the open connection? I think it was in the initializer. Hold on, let's see. Okay. Not that one. Is it this one? It's this one. Okay, request. All right. I've seen it hail before. It's just, it's California. We never see hail ever, like ever. All right. I think I might have to give up on this one, guys. Because we have the request, but, and all this stuff is being written to it. But it's not even being used. Let's see, where is the request used after this? So the last time I see request is right here. And then it just starts working. I don't like that at all. There should be a simple way to do this, and I feel like I'm missing something. Off topic wire. Let's see. When was this radar filed? Back in 2018. That was just last year. No, those aren't helping me. Introducing network.framework, a modern alternative to sockets. Sounds amazing. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking of. Because I remember watching, I think I watched this video already. And so let me see, network.framework socket. Network.framework socket. I also have used network.framework socket connections. Alrighty. I came here to see what kind of plans. Store for Starscream. WebSockets. Let's see. Okay. So you just coming over to Starscream to be like, oh, modern. Okay. Is there an example though, or at least documentation with Swift Neo? Let's see. Don't want theory right now. Bootstrapping a server. Where are you? Network.framework. Where the hell are the docs, though? Oh, God, not .NET. How the heck? Okay, hold on. Let's do network.framework Apple. Here we go. TLS, which is built upon framework. Think. That's right. So use this framework when you need direct access to protocols like TLS, TCP, which what we need for your custom application continues, which is built upon framework for loading HTTP. All right. A bidirectional data connection between a local endpoint and a remote endpoint. Not sure if that might be it. Listener and object you use to listen for incoming networking connection, endpoint, NW parameters, NW path, and object contains property and network used by connection. Okay, protocol definition, network protocols. Let's see, network debugging. All right, so then I think that I want NW connection. So what do you have to say about NW? Bidirectional, host, port, parameters, start, first steps, and then okay. Let's try this again. All right, where are we? We're in the socket service. So let's import foundation. That's usually a good one to have in there. Let's import network. Is it under network? Is that what we're working with? Under the network framework, yes. And what we want to do is we want to have a class, socket service, like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to have another, so this is a, so we want a connection. So let's make this a singleton. So private init static let shared. What's up, Galex? Glad you're back. Socket service like so. Then let's just see var or func connect. I'll just call it connect to see whatever happens. All right, so what we want is we want to establish a connection, right? So let connection is equal to NW connection. We're going to initialize this with a host, a port, and some parameters. NW parameters. So let's go ahead and create some NW parameter. Let parameters equals NW parameters. It would be helpful if I knew what these were. Creates a parameter object that is configured for TLS and TCP. The caller can use the default configuration for TLS and TCP or set specific options or disable TLS. Let me see. What options do I have? .nil. What happens if we do that? Jump to definition. NW parameters. I think this is the one that we're using right here. So then what are the options? Interesting. Well, let's just do that and we'll uncomment that and we'll do this and a host. NW endpoint host, NW endpoint. Let endpoint equals create a host from a string. Seems like what I want. HTTP local host colon 8080/echo. So we have our host. I highly doubt this is going to work. Port. I wonder if it's. Oh, they are. Okay, so let me see. Oh, they are string integer convertible, and then we'll just do parameters as parameters. All right. Let me see what you're gonna tell me about these parameters, doe. Those parameters, doe. No overview available. Awesome. That's just thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, so no documentation on parameters. So shouldn't matter. That's amazing. All right. So then if we have a connection, then obviously a connection should be able to connect. Start dot main. Nah, that's not gonna work. There's no way that's gonna work. HTTP localhost colon 8080 / echo. There's no way that this can work. It's pretty much impossible. Connect. Shared. All right, let's see what happens. Pedro Castro, can anybody help me? I'm implementing a table view with one image and one text for each cell, but the cell takes a different order. So the cells take a different order every time I open the app. How can I fix this? I have no idea. Because what you're describing doesn't really make sense because implementing a table view, but cells. Well, I guess okay, so Pedro, what are you using to where are you getting these images and this text from? That's my first question. So there we go. Okay, so we start a connection. An object you can use to listen. So let's see, new connection handler. Pretty sure nothing happened. A description used to advertise the sure. So how do we use this? And actually, since we're spending so much time on this anyway, example, let's just play that. Okay. Y'all really don't have the speed on. Resources implementing netcat with network. Endpoint and parameter. Hold on, turn that back up. Let's see. Is this an Objective-C? You guys are disgusting. Okay. Port using TLS. So what hold on. What are we doing? WebSocket protocol. TCP. That's what I thought. Wasn't exactly sure. Port IMAPs. We're gonna do 80. And yeah, okay, so let's do this. Let's follow their example. Let connection that 80, and then using .tcp. Don't know why you didn't give me that option before. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah. I'm getting the images from my assets like cell.populate and then something, and then label. Okay. Depends on how you're storing your data then. That's what I'm trying to ask you is like how are you getting this array? Is it an array or is it a set? And how are you populating that data? Okay, connection state update handler. No way. All right. Connection dot state update handler. Right. And then we switch case dot ready print ready case dot preparing print preparing that's not how you spell it. Preparing case dot let error. Dude, what are you doing? Why are you not working? What? Get out of here, Java. Error. Come on, spell it right. Print waiting. And then case dot failed. Let error print failed error case dot canceled print canceled and then default print poop. Let's see what happens if I try this. Ooh, what? Hold on. What? Where's the volume? Okay, of course the audio's cutting out right here. That sucks. Okay, so we did this. What is my queue? I think I'll just put it on the main queue. Should be fine.
That would just send out. It evaluates the network you're on. Go ahead and connect expensive networks like a cellular network, because this connection is only appropriate
All
to use
right.
for Wi-Fi. So within the parameters for your connection, there are options to control the interfaces that you use. So if you don't want to use cellular, simply add cellular to the list of prohibited interface types.
Okay, let me see
It's
if the
even better,
connection
actually,
has a
to also
listener.
prohibit expensive networks in general.
List. Nope.
Block the usage of personal hotspots on a Mac, let's say. Another way that you can restrict your connection establishment is by choosing specifically the IP address family that you want to use. So let's say that you really want
Connection.
IPv6 because it's faster and it's the future.
Dot
You don't want to use
right.
IPv4 at all on your connection. You can do this by going to your parameters, digging down into the IP-specific options, and here you'll have options that you'll find familiar from
Okay,
WebSocket.
nobody cares.
Validate the connection and display them on the other side.
Streaming live video with UDP.
We need to divvy those frames up. If there were no errors, we call receive again so that we receive subsequent frames and send them up to the.
Let me see. I have a dictionary that I cast to an array. That's your problem right there. Pedro, that's your problem right there. You're using a dictionary to store your data. Dictionaries are unordered. But let's see what else he had to say. The real code is cell.populate with UI image. Hold on. Yeah. What's going on, iCode? I have a dictionary that I cast to an array. That's your problem. The real code is cell.populate with that, and then that, and then that, and then that. Yeah. So your problem is that you're storing the stuff in a dictionary, and by definition, dictionaries are unordered collections, which is something that you really need to. It's a concept that you really need to learn. This means that you can't expect to put an image into a dictionary and get it back out at the same spot. That's why your stuff is jumping around. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna just want to look up Swift. Like go on Google, look up Swift arrays versus dictionaries, and it'll probably give you a good article or a video. But arrays are ordered, which is why you can say, okay, the first thing that I'm going to put in at the 0 index is going to be A, right? And then the next thing that I'm going to put in is going to be B. Well, when you store that stuff to a dictionary, it might put the first thing as being B, and then the next. So you have to keep that in mind. Yeah, dictionaries don't keep the same order. That's your mistake. All right, so let's go ahead and figure this out.
The server side brought up a bonjour list.
I don't care about that.
It's exactly equivalent to the time in which a blocking socket call would return to you, or when the non-blocking socket call was able to consume all of the bytes that you sent.
This should be on YouTube.
And in this completion handler, there are two things you can check for. First, you can check for an error. If there is an error, that means something went wrong while we were trying to send your data.
Not that one. YouTube. If this is on YouTube, then I can at least speed it up and scrub it properly.
Perfect opportunity to go and see if there's more data in your application to generate. So if you're generating live data frames, go and fetch another frame from the video stream, because now is the time when you can actually enqueue the next packets. This allows you to pace all of your data out. And so as you see here,
I don't like that.
Of using this asynchronous send callback to
all right, let's see. Okay, so
out of our connection, but just have a single callback of when all of your data is ready to go. So it's a really great way to optimize the interactions. Beyond sending and receiving, there are a couple of advanced options that I'd like to highlight.
No advanced options.
Traditionally with a socket, you may try to read 10 bytes You may get 10 bytes, you may get less. You have to keep reading until you get exactly 10 bytes to read your header. And then you have to read a couple megabytes. And you'll read some, and you'll get a whole bunch of different read calls and essentially go back and forth between your app and the network stack.
Let me see.
With later on in the talk. If there's an error on the connection, either during the connection establishment or after.
How could you guys not have a speed up button?
They can take the camera, the video frame.
Okay. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new listener service. Okay. New listener connection, start. Okay, so I'm gonna assume you only create a listener after it's ready. So let's move forward with that ideology in mind. And what we're gonna do is not only is it optional, but it's freaking throwing. That's disgusting. What are you doing? Ugh. Do catch, and then if let listener is equal to NW listener, and then we're going to be listening on .tcp, right? That's what you're saying. Parameters. Oh, parameters. Not really sure why. Parameters. Okay, hold on. Let's just do this my way. Let listener is equal to NW listener, and we're gonna initialize it. Let's just do TCP, and we're gonna say on port 80 just to make sure that everything's kind of lining up. We're gonna print the error. All right, so now after that we have new connection handler. So handle inbound connections. New connection. That's not. Oh, we actually did this kind of backwards. New connection handler. So listener dot new connection handler is equal to this dot start dot main. Start listening on the main queue. Listener dot start. Wait, that doesn't seem right. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Let's see what happens. Throw it out there into the wild and let's see what happens.
Because we're using UDP and there's no other handshake, we're going to take some data and send it across to the network, to the other device, and wait for it to be echoed back before we start generating lots of video frames and dumping them on the network. We need to remember to call start on our connection, and we provide the queue that we created up above.
All right. Cool.
Let's send initial frame. create a data object using them. To send content on a connection, we can call connection.send and provide that data object as the content.
Hold
we
on.
provide a completion
Connection.send.
for any errors that may have been encountered while sending.
Okay.
Since we expect this content to be immediately echoed back, we turn right around and call connection receive to read the incoming data off of the connection. In that completion handler, we validate that the content is present, and if so, we let the rest of the application know that we're connected, and it should bring up the camera hardware and start generating frames. When those frames are generated, the rest of the application knows to call send on our UDP client class.
Let's see.
And pass it an array of data objects representing the video frames that we're trying to send. Because we're going to be doing a lot of send.
Okay, so this is kind of what I'm looking for. Connection.receive. Not necessarily listener. Not that one. Okay, so let's see. Connection dot receive. Let's do this in here. I'll put it up top too. So connection.receive, and then we'll just say enter on this data, and then I don't think we need any of this. Error. Print error. No error. Print data. No data. So let's see what happens if we do this. And also, I'm thinking like, when would this, I don't know. Did I already call it? Did it already go through and just say no, it doesn't work? Yeah, didn't work. Okay, connection receive message. Let me put it up here. Let's see what happens. That's what you're telling me. So, and how did this drop in quality? It's paused.
Within this block, we're going to go through every frame in that array of data objects. Here's type it.
Okay, listener service. Where is this code? Why did you guys not supply the code? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You guys did not supply the code. Where is this? What's this? Abbreviate NC is a Unix something. No, don't want any of that.
And better route changes in there. It can make all the difference for providing a seamless networking experience. Now we know the network framework doesn't support UDP multicast yet. So if you're doing UDP multicast, we'd really like to understand your use cases so we can take those into account going forward. In addition, if you have any other questions or enhancement requests, we'd love to hear from you. Contact developer support, or better yet, Meet us in one of the labs. We have a lab after lunch at 2 p.m. and another one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. For more information, see this URL. Don't forget the labs tomorrow morning and after lunch. Thank you so much and have a great WWDC.
No, don't just redirect me. Give me the goddamn code, you bastard. Let me think. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it. It should be like, cause I can't really tell if it really did connect or not, and I know that it should be easy. I'm pretty sure it's easy, but there's no resources on it. And I'm hungry. I didn't even eat breakfast. It's 1:30. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. So it was definitely worth trying. The good thing is that the server portion of the code works, and I could probably get it working with Star. Well, I mean, I technically did get it working with Starscream, but I don't want to use Starscream. So I just gotta figure out how. Yeah, I just can't believe that they wouldn't give you the code. Super weird. Um, Hold on. Introducing network.framework. Fix that for me. Back off. Back off. That. TCP server with Swift. No, that's not what I want. Networking framework. Let's see if Reddit, if they got the code on Reddit or something like that. Haven't finished the video, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the layer on top of sockets, then alternate to sockets. Work OS layer, TCP, blah, blah, blah. Why would you guys not give the code? It's perplexing. Let's see, GitHub. Nope. Yeah. So they don't provide it. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out some other time. All right, guys. That's going to be it. I've been streaming long enough. We got the web portion done at least. And that was super easy. That only took like half an hour to get in there. Well, less than half an hour, honestly, because it was so easy. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate you spending the time. And yeah, I'm going to go do a couple other things. Probably record a couple more videos for the rest of the week if it stops thundering over here. But yeah. All right. Go out there. Keep coding passionately.